Good afternoon, family. Thank you for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of achieving a healthy weight. If you do enjoy my videos, make sure that you click on the subscribe button. Also, click on the bell icon so you'll get alerted when I go live, which usually most weekdays at 4 p.m. If you'd like to join in on the discussion, you can join me for those live streams, or you can also check out our Discord channel. There is a link for that down in the description below. Also, down in the description below, there is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a place where you guys can go to get some idea of the meals that we are eating or we are enjoying on our whole food plant-based diet. I am Anthony's checking in here, ringing the bell. How's it going, Anthony? I hope everything's going great with you today. Today is not my normal weigh-in day, but I am going to go ahead. I had to miss yesterday, and I'll go into that later, but I'm going to go ahead and get my weigh-in out of the way. All right. All right, family. It is Thursday, March 24th, 2022, and it is time for my weekly weigh-in. It is also day 508 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. A quick recap. I started this challenge on November 1st of 2020. I had a starting weight of 519.8 pounds. Last week, after having a great 2-pound weight loss, I weighed in at 310.4 pounds, bringing my total weight loss to 209.4 pounds. I'm going to go ahead and hop up on the scale here and see what today's weight is. $308.2 pounds. That is awesome. All right, so 308.2 means I had a 2.2 pound weight loss this week. It also brings my total weight loss to 211.6 pounds, and it's the lowest I've been since I started this challenge, which is awesome. My lowest previous weight was 310.2. I was so close last week, so I really wanted to make sure that I hit it this week, and I'm really happy that I was able to blow through it and lose over 2 pounds again this week. That is the 4th week in a row that I've had over a 2-pound weight loss, and it's because I've been sticking to my diet, whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar free, and that's just awesome. Yeah, and so this past week I was able to stay 100% compliant with my whole food plant-based diet. I did end up pushing it a little bit here at the for this weigh-in. My initial plan was to juice fast after Tuesday morning until my weigh-in on Wednesday. But because I had some things come up, I was not able to weigh in on Wednesday. So I have actually continued that juice fast until now. So I am on about hour 56 of a juice fast. I plan on going home and eating a bunch of food. So I'm going to end the fast when I get home. But like I said, I really wanted to push my weight down, make sure that I was under that 310.2. And I'm glad to see that I was able to beat that by 2 pounds. Carrie's checking in saying nice. I hope everything's going great with you today. And I'm really excited about how this week went. I feel great right now, and I'm a little bit worried though because it's Thursday and I'm going to be weighing in next Wednesday, and I won't have as much time. So I don't know if I'll be able to continue on with this 2-pound a week streak I'm on, but I'd be really happy if I could keep going with 2 pounds a week. So I want to thank everybody for the support. And Harry says, I bet you're hungry. I am hungry. Yes. Let me go back to the main page here. So yeah, I mean, 2 pounds is awesome. I was kind of all over the place. I'm trying to even remember the days of the week at this point. I feel like this weekend was the weekend that I had just a ton of rice. I felt like I would just gorged myself on rice every day for lunch and dinner. It was a new rice dish. So I was a little bit up at the start of the week, which is why I had chosen to do the juice fast on Tuesday. And then we ended up, what it was is my daughter had a doctor's appointment and it's out of the area. It takes about an hour to drive to where the appointment was. I forgot that we had the appointment and it was set up for an afternoon time yesterday. It was kind of the only time that the doctor was able to see us. We had to reschedule the appointment. So the first time. So I wanted to make sure I made that appointment, and I had to skip the weigh-in yesterday, but it did give me a chance to get to that 2 pounds lost. And one of the things that I did kind of come across today, I've been extremely confident this whole time that I've been doing the juice fast. I'm not worried about uh, that I haven't eaten for 56 hours. I've done that quite a few times since my initial 42-day fast. And it's one of the things that I feel like has contributed to my weight loss is that I have just, I feel like such great control over the diet and what I put in my mouth, and my ability to be able to choose nothing over something that is going to harm me or something that's not the best option that I could have. I'm not going to sacrifice my diet and my health just to get food in my mouth, because I know that I'm not in a position where I am anywhere near starving to death, or having any issues with my overall health. And I didn't go with 0 calories either. I did drink a lot of cherry juice over the last 2 days. And so I did get a little bit of energy, but I can definitely tell that my stomach is empty. I've cleaned out, or, I don't have any more waste in there. And I know that if I pushed this fast any longer, that I would my stomach would start switching gears and I would get some uh, different results in the end. So I'm definitely going to eat tonight. I have no idea what we're having, but I am very hungry. So hopefully it's going to be wonderful. I'm sure it'll be amazing. Everything Carrie makes is amazing. Um, Let me go over to stream notes. All right. So yesterday, yeah, with food, there's nothing to update. I just had cherry juice. I might have had some apple juice, but not a lot. And it's nothing fancy. It's not like I'm going out. We don't have a juicer. I'm not juicing my own thing. I bought uh cherry juice from Costco, and that's really kind of the juice I drink for the most part. Uh One of the things I do have to say I noticed today is that I've had hunger, like it's not anything that has been uh it hasn't caused me any discomfort, but I can feel that kind of hunger in my throat that they talk about. My stomach has actually been fairly gassy. I've had a lot of burping and things like that happening today, but I think it's good for my body to kind of give it a chance to catch up. And, like I said, I felt like I ate a lot this weekend, and it now has processed all that food I ate. So I am not worried about the fact that I overate this weekend, because I've corrected, and uh, it's done well for me. But yeah, today I definitely noticed that I'd have been cool with eating at any point. If that makes sense. But Yeah, that's really, I'm trying to think if I had anything else. I had, so The doctor's appointment that I had to travel to was pretty much throughout the time of the stream, and I didn't get home until kind of late, actually. So Carrie says that we're having some smoky bean chili tonight. Sounds interesting. We'll have to give that a try. I'll try to get some photos of that and show you guys tomorrow and give you a review of Carrie's famous smoky bean chili. It's not famous yet. It will be famous soon, though. I'm sure it's a recipe that she found from somewhere. All right. So, how I've kept 200 pounds, how I've lost 200 pounds, kept it off. I talk about this a lot. I mean, it has been a huge combination of things, but uh, the consistency is going to be the big thing today. Just sticking with it and being willing to consistently work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds. It hasn't been necessarily consistently being on my diet. And that is one of the things that, while I think that the best diet that you can do for weight loss is a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet, I don't think that you should rely on that diet alone to be what gets you to your goals. And so what I mean by that is that when you create that when you create that idolization of your diet, or you create the need for a specific thing too, especially in the past when I've dieted, there's always been something that was a bit of a crutch, that I was able to lose weight because I was taking this pill that the doctor prescribed, or that I was doing this weight loss shake, or I was following this specific regimen. And those things can help you to lose weight, and they can be tools to help you lose weight. But when you become reliant on them, they, like I said, you kind of become uh the weight loss is secondary to holding on to that diet plan, or holding on to the thing that you think is the key to you losing weight. And if something comes up that bumps you off that path or causes you to not be able to take that pill anymore, then you lose faith in what you're doing. And when you lose faith, then that's when you get to the point where you just clear the table and you start over and you say, if I can't do it perfect, I'm not going to do it at all. You have to be willing to be less than perfect some of the time. And even when you're less than perfect, you know that you can figure it out. You know that your goal is to continue to do better and not be perfect. And for me, I've lost the 200 pounds. What's really helped me to keep it off is that I am not to my goal yet. My goal is to lose 300 pounds. The real chat will be when I get to 300 pounds and how I kept 300 pounds off. But so the 200 pounds is just a stepping stone on my way. The best part, though, is that even after having the things happen to me since July of 2021, I've still been able to maintain the weight loss. And now, throughout the past 2, 3 months almost, consistently bringing that weight down week after week and getting back to where I was prior to July 2021. And if you're new here or you don't know, in July of 2021, I tore my distal bicep tendon that required me to have surgery, that kind of slowed down my weight loss progress at that time. And then fast forward a month or two, and we tried to reintroduce some salt, oil, and sugar into our diet, trying to make it as rare and appropriate as possible. But once you start bringing in some of those outside elements, they can get difficult to talk yourself out of. When you maybe have a meal that is from a restaurant and then you don't gain weight immediately, then you don't blame the restaurant for that weight gain that might take a week or two before you really notice, because that if you eat something that is off your diet, you may not see the impact of that right away. And so when that happens, you don't blame the meal that you had 4 days ago for your weight loss today. You blame the meal you had yesterday for your weight gain today is what I meant. But um and so it's easy to talk yourself into it. We got to a point where we were almost every week we were finding some excuse to go and order a vegan pizza from a restaurant or have something that was out of the diet that I used to lose the first 200 pounds. And it has been, uh, it's been tough, but I've wrestled that control back and I've been able to avoid those temptations. And uh it's been uh it's been awesome to kind of win that struggle, because so many times in the past I've had that struggle where something knocked me off my diet or something came up or vacation happened or the event that I was losing weight happened, and then uh I just let it go from there, because 2 pounds becomes 20 pounds, 20 pounds becomes 40 pounds. And then soon you're back to the starting weight. And inevitably, every time so far, I had gotten back to my starting weight and gotten further. And so this time, be able to have an injury like that happen and to have a scenario where I was really on paper, people would have been like, that diet's not that bad. What you're talking about, your cheat items, your I don't even know what it was. Like the squash meal was one of, it was all vegan, it was all plant-based. Most people would be like, well, that's not a big deal. And if my goal wasn't to lose weight, it wouldn't have been. If my goal was to maintain the weight I was at, those things might have been okay, but that's not my goal right now. My goal is to continue to lose weight. It's, it's awesome that I've been able to maintain this 200 pounds or this, yeah, 200 pounds for 6 months, essentially. I've floated up and down 15 pounds from that in the last 6 months, but it's great to be able to push through and to continue with. Yes, I don't know. And like I said, it's the consistency of my goal being to keep losing weight. It's not to stay on the diet. My goal hasn't been to stay on a specific diet. When I started this, I didn't even know that the diet I'm on now existed. So it was something different. Carrie says that she's not having one of those cheat meals, and her body is, or yeah, so her body is much happier. Eating large quantities of salt, oil, and sugar made you feel yucky for days afterwards. Yes, and uh, it's incredible the where I went from. Well, I'm eating 2 fast food meals a day. I'm buying food at the gas station on the way home, and then I'm coming home and I'm eating a bag of chips, and uh, I'm eating a full dinner and snacks and ice cream every night and things like that. Maybe not every night, but many nights I had ice cream. And I think I was just always in a constant state of blah, just like this is the worst your body can feel. And you do it to yourself over time for so long that it just feels like normal. It's like the frog in the pot of water. If you throw a frog into a hot pot of water, he's going to jump out. But if you put him in there while it's room temperature and then you turn the burner up and it gets hotter and hotter, you can boil him, right? The bad analogy if you're a vegan watching this, I'm sorry. But um the But it's the same way with that weight gain. Like I gained that weight slowly over time, and I lived with things, like I lived with swollen ankles. I lived with not being able to hardly tie my own shoes, but it was a slow kind of thing that happened, and the aches and the pains were there, and the out of breath was there the whole time. But because I slowly let myself get to that point, then I didn't realize how much it was affecting me. And now, through this process, I've talked about how amazing I feel, how great it feels to have all this weight off and everything. But when we do have food that has a little bit of salt in it, I notice immediately that my legs are a little bit more swollen. Like there's loose skin. It's the only thing that a lot of people talk about loose skin and about how do you deal with loose skin? Do you have a lot of loose skin? And I have loose skin, and it's I can see it, it wrinkles in like areas around my arm and my midsection. But one of the things Wayne says, congratulations on the new low. Thanks, Wayne. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm really excited about being there. I'm just hoping that uh I can still I'll definitely be under that 310.4 from here going forward. I just hope that I can continue losing this 2 pounds a week every week. But kind of pushed it this week. I gave myself 8 days, and then I haven't eaten for 56 hours. So next week we might not see a 2 pound weight loss, or maybe we will. But yeah, I'm happy with being at my new low. It has been since August 2nd was when I weighed in, and I was 310.4. So that's over 6 months that it took me to get back to where I was before I tore my bicep tendon. So I'm really happy with where I'm at. Oh, I was talking about loose skin. Yes. The loose skin. I knew I was gonna have loose skin, and I'm not worried about it. Like if unless something like I'm having like when I get to my goal weight, I imagine there's gonna be a lot of loose skin, and getting that removed is not really something I'm concerned about right now. Like if I would lean towards not doing it, but at the same time, I don't know. I might. It's one of those things where I guess I'm going to cross that bridge when I get to it. But what I didn't expect to happen was I expected loose skin on my chest, around my belly, and my sides, and on my arms. But I did not expect to have loose skin around my ankles. And it's probably the most frustrating of all of my loose skin because as a bigger guy my whole life, my legs have continually gotten a workout that has been superior to anybody else because they are lighter than me. My screen's frozen over there. It says excellent condition though. But I continue on like everything is okay, even though it looks like it's not. So the now everything's going better. So um so I always had fairly large calf muscle. It's just something that was a natural thing when I was a junior high, like 6th grade into junior high. I did a paper route in my neighborhood, and the neighborhood was essentially 4 hills that you drove in, and then you had to go up 4 different hills. And I did the paper route on foot. And I think that did a lot to strengthen my legs when I was younger. Then I went from that. I was working as a dishwasher at a country club that was near my house. And I would wear shorts as the dishwasher. And one of the cooks in the restaurant would give me a hard time about wearing shorts because that was kind of not something you were supposed to do. But I was in a humid room washing dishes all day, and I didn't really care. And so one of the times he was giving me a hard time about wearing shorts, the head chef walked up to the guy and said something along the lines of, if you had calves as big as his, I'd let you wear shorts too. And so And then as I got older, I had friends of mine that were really into bodybuilding and weightlifting, and they always were kind of jealous of these large calf muscles I had. And it wasn't anything that was necessarily done on purpose. It's just because my body has had to haul around a large frame, they just are bigger calf muscles. And so I actually would be the only thing that I ever would have, like if somebody previous to this would have said, what is your whatever best attribute, it would have been my calf muscles, because even at 350 or 400 pounds, I could flex my calf muscle and you would see definition in my calves. And then fast forward to now, I got up to 520 pounds and my legs had a ton of swelling around them. And, the size of my calf muscle itself probably hid that swelling even from myself. Like I didn't notice it as much um, until it got to the point where I needed to do something. Like I mean, there was sores growing on there. I could push my finger into the my ankle and it would leave a big white mark and an indent for multiple seconds before it would like level back out. And so uh when I started this challenge, the first thing that happened is all the swelling from my legs went away. Like that was one of the first things that happened. But as a result of that, I now have like loose skin around my calves, which is weird. Like it was um not expected, and it really frustrates me because it would not have been that way if I'd have stayed under 425. Like if I'd have been under 400 pounds, I would have had the loose skin on my body or my arms. Uh, but I would not have had that loose skin around my calf muscles. And so, yeah, it's just weird. And I don't know, like maybe someday I'll take photos of the loose skin and kind of show you what I'm talking about. But it's just frustrating that I had that. Carrie says that my smile would have been what she says was her favorite attribute about me or about yourself. No, it's about myself. Yeah. So, um, so yeah, that would be the one kind of, uh, the thing that I regret about getting up to five. I mean, there's a lot of things I regret about getting up to 520 pounds, but it surprised me, I guess, as part of all of this. And, I guess that just means that I'm going to have to start doing a lot of calf muscle workouts and to grow that muscle up large enough to get rid of that loose skin. But that's not my concern right now. My concern is losing the weight, keeping the weight off, and staying on this diet has really helped with that. And it's eating. What I like about eating the whole food, plant based, salt, oil, sugar free diet is that it's actually causing me to lose the weight without having to go to the gym. In the past 6 months, if I would have been working out or even doing a half hour workout a day, like going for a walk for a half hour, or doing that twice a day, or doing a hard workout for a half hour, 45 minutes, I probably would have been able to turn that calorie deficit over. Like instead of being at 200 excess calories a day, I would have been able to get myself to a 100 calorie deficit a day. And it would have helped me to lose that weight or not to gain any weight through this process. But because I wasn't working out, then it's such a fine line that you kind of have to thread there with this whole process, because I'm I'm happy, 2 pounds a week is awesome weight loss. That's 100. That's gonna get me where I want to be. But to have that 2 pounds a week, that means I have to be at a 7,000 calorie deficit for the week, which means I have to be burning 1,000 more calories than I'm eating. And, I think that it's also, Carrie gets probably, but it's not calories in, calories out. It's calories absorbed, calories out. I truly believe that if I ate a can of beans, but I didn't chew it and I just swallowed them like they were pills, that you would actually absorb almost no calories, or the calories that you would absorb would be next to nothing. Whereas if you take those beans and you put them in a blender and you make them refried beans and you eat that same amount of beans as the ones that had the skin intact, your body's going to absorb a lot more of those calories. So, um, this whole food plant based SOS free diet allows me to eat full bellies. It allows me to probably have more calories consumed, like more calories put into my system, but then not as many calories absorbed, because it's difficult for your body to absorb the calories from some of these things because it still has the fiber attached to it. And that is one of the benefits to eating this diet, that your body has to work harder to absorb these calories. You could eat a carnivore diet, or you could eat a diet that has um, simple carbohydrates, and you could measure out and say, okay, I'm going to eat 1,000 calorie deficit and I'm going to eat these foods, and your body will likely absorb all of those calories. But when you eat whole grain brown rice and steel cut or oat groats, your body is not getting the same access to the minerals that's in that food as if you ate rolled oats, or had oat flour part of the recipe. So I think I rambled on enough today. I am super excited about a 2.2 pound weight loss this week, which was awesome. I'm looking forward to going home and eating dinner. Carrie said it was a recipe from the Plant Powered Families Cookbook, and we've had it before. So it's sweeter chili. The sweeter chili from the Plant Powered Families Cookbook is what Carrie says. So looking forward to going home and having dinner. I will be back on tomorrow, and then it's the weekend. So I will do a stream on Friday. I really appreciate you guys supporting me and checking out my channel. Make sure that if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, click the subscribe. Also click the bell icon so you'll get alerted when I go live. There are a couple other links down in the description that I didn't go over earlier. The top link there is a video that is an interview that I did with the nutritionstudies.org. It's the Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies. It was an interview I did about my weight loss so far on plants. And then the link below that is actually a support network created by the lady who interviewed me, that is for anybody that's eating a whole food plant-based diet and they're looking for support, or they're looking for meal ideas. They also are going to end up doing some batch cooking classes that you can do through that program as well, if you're looking at learning how to do batch cooking. Or another thing that was interesting that I really would like to see, the guy that runs it, his name is Chef Dell, and in one of his interviews recently, I heard him mention that he's going to try to figure out how to do like dinners for one, because batch cooking is great and it's really awesome if you have a family. But if you're a single guy and you're trying to eat a whole food plant-based diet, it's difficult, because uh, a lot of recipes are for families, and you might not want to make a whole family recipe, or they might not kind of cater to what you want. So it'd be really interesting if he does do a uh, meal prep for a single person, as opposed to doing batch cooking. Anthony saying, take care, John. Glad that you are back down to a new low. I have reached a new low. Yes, I've reached a new low. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. If you haven't started your diet yet, what in the world are you waiting for? Get started right now. Nobody ever reaches their goal, looks back and says, man, I wish I would have waited. What was I thinking? I was in such a hurry to get started. Nobody ever does that. Everybody says, why did I wait? Why didn't I get started sooner? I do the same thing. I wish I would have started 2 weeks sooner. I'd be 2 weeks further along. I wish I would have started the day I saw I was over 500 pounds. I'd be 6 months further along than I am now. So get started right now. Nobody regrets getting started. And don't fall for the myths of moderation, the myth of moderate change and the myth of moderate consumption. It's great to think that you can change over time and that you're going to develop these new habits because you're starting to eat salad before you have your main course every night. Let's see. Anthony says, when I hit 270, I need to get a mountain bike. Ooh, that would be nice. I actually want to get on the road and ride some of the trails. We have a really good trail system around us. And I do a lot of work with a bike club that I'd like to get out and do some trail riding and get out with my son. We picked him up a bike this past year. It would be good to get out. But mountain biking, it sounds fun. It does. But then I think about falling off a mountain bike. Doesn't sound near as fun. But yeah, it's been since I was a kid that I did like off-road bike riding. I bet that would be fun. But most of my off-road fun happens on a ATV, and I'll get my ATV back out. Is that okay, Carrie? Or go out to Utah again? Is that cool? So myth of moderate change, myth of moderate consumption. Just a little bit of this can't hurt, right? Everything in moderation, and that's great to think, but that thing causes cancer, just a little bit of cancer. Okay. If that's got, yeah. So, the myth of moderate consumption, that I could eat half a plate and it'll be okay. And it works for a little bit of time. I've done it. I've eaten 1,000-calorie diets for 3, 4, 6 months, maybe 8 months. I don't remember. It was at least 6. And then I think I had to get off the phentermine. Your body doesn't want to eat half a plate of food. Your body wants to eat a whole plate of food. Change the density, change the calorie density so you can eat more food and not eat less food. So I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thanks again. I'll be back on tomorrow. You guys all have a great evening. I'd love to hear how you're doing on your weights too. So if you're watching this still, let me know how you're doing on your weights. But